Hi everybody, Tom here. Have a neat project that I hope you guys can relate to. We buy and sell a lot of cars here, and every once in a while there is, from time to time, an issue with the cars that we buy. On this car, this Corvette, there was a big chunk taken out of the fiberglass, just huge right here. So we need to, consider what to do. This car is beautiful every place else. Do we paint the whole front end because there's no seams on a Corvette, or do we spot? Well, many, and I've talked to a lot of paint manufacturers. They're like, no way. The best way to go is to fully lock it with clear. And I listened to that for a long time. And you have to charge the customer a lot of money compared to just spotting it. Well, how can we spot a section like this without having a blend line and without a hologram, without a blend line, without a tear in the clear? Because what you're doing is you're putting clear on top of clear. And there's no way to melt a urethane clear into the surface. Well, what I'm going to show you is a process that works awesome. It wasn't actually, invented by me. It was from one of the paint schools that I went through. We used Spiessecker when we were doing all of our restoration work back in the 80s and 90s. Actually, we used Sikkens in the beginning, and then we moved away from Sikkens and we moved to Spiessecker. Well, at the paint school, the gentleman there wanted to show us how to do blend work on urethane without using blending solvent. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to draw some pictures. I'm going to talk about this section right here, getting the color match perfect, and then going on to clear coating this section and using CSI ceramic polish and getting an absolute perfect finish. I've taken a lot of videos of the dry edge, and it's called a hard edge blend. You're going to see the edge of where the new clear is over the top of the old clear, and we blended it out far enough with the color. The color was blended out to about here, and then you got to take the clear coat out further, and it just comes out perfect every single time. There's no way to ever see the blend line. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about the process on how that's done. Okay, so now color sanded the whole panel, and I'm going to insert some video from my iPhone just so you can see the details around the edges here where the clear and the hard edge blend is visible. First sand, and it's only there to the first time that I sand is not necessarily for the color sanding mark that I want to buff out. It is there for removing any defects. We just did this in the shop, so we're not doing this in the booth. We just did it out back in the shop. It's nice and clean, but it you can get little dust particles. I put 3 coats of clear on. So the first coat is a nice tack coat. The second coat is a really good coat, and then the third coat's just to make sure that my orange peel is minimal. And obviously, when you're doing this, if hopefully you've done this before, but if you're doing this, the time in between each coat. It's really important because if you mess that up, you're going to get solvent popping and it's going to blow this whole thing to smithereens. You know, and we'll do some videos on that too. We do have a new YouTube station that we're starting, and it's called Pro Paint and Body, and it'll be specifically on painting, not as much on polishing. Obviously, we're going to use, you know, Clear Coat Solutions or CSI on everything that we do there, but it will be a page on YouTube for doing full restoration work. So first step, 1000 grit with the block. Make sure there's no dirt nibs. Knock my blend down a little bit. I don't want to totally tear the edge yet. I am going to tear the edge, but I'm going to use 2500 to tear that edge. I've softly hit it with 1000 grit just to make sure that the orange peel looks the same as the rest of the car. And it's got a slight bit of orange peel in this car. Not bad, but a slight bit. It was color sanded by somebody and they lightly hit the car. It looks very nice. It looks better than factory. Obviously a lot better than an old 60, you know, a Stingray, but better than a new factory car, better than a Mustang. It's just, you can tell it's knocked down, it's been color sanded and polished, but it's not totally flat. So the next step will be taking this up to 2500. I'll probably hit it with 2000 a little bit, and then 2500 really good. And that's where I'm going to actually tear the edge. So on the next video, you're going to see a torn edge where the clear is on top of the old clear and the edge is torn. Now, anytime that we saw that in the past, using lacquer or even acrylic enamel, we know that that's going to be totally visible. Not anymore. One, and this is something that's important, when you do these kind of blends, make sure it's fully dry before you buff. If you've got to put it out in the sun, you know, let it sit out there for a couple days, or if you've got devices like an Infratech light, which is an infrared light, they're really nice. They have thermostats built into them so you don't overheat the paint. And we will be showing that tool. We will be showing how to use that tool. And you'll get the clear nice and dry. Bake out all the solvents that are, you know, just naturally in clear. And make that clear as tight as possible so that when we do have an exposed edge, when we buff it using CSI, and I think these are some of the biggest reasons why I came out with CSI, is because if you've ever tried to do this with compound, basically rocks in a bottle, you're going to rip that blend right back, and you know that's not going to work. So by using CSI and the way that it's made, it will take out any sand scratch and easily take out 2500 grit without doing the damage that compound has always done. And this is one of the biggest reasons that I stress why CSI Ceram-X isn't anything like anybody's compounding system. They never work for me. They were always a problem. Obviously, I'm an expert, so I can make anything work. But when I hand it to my guys, and I'm sitting in the office and I'm dealing with customers, and then they go back and then they do something with compound, it makes my hair fall out. You know, that's probably why my hair fell out, is it just becomes a problem when you use compound, especially on fresh paint. It's going to rip and tear and cause swirl marks. So CSI is not going to do that, and I will show the, we're going to show the 2500, finished sanding with 2500, and then obviously we'll show it finished, and you won't be able to see any blend line at all in the clear. All right, looks really good. Color looks right on the money. What's nice, you know, when you get done doing something like this, is that you can really tell if you got that hue right. This color's green and purple. You know, it's got those kind of side casts to it. And that is right where we did the blend, is right in here. and then obviously spread it all out, but it looks perfect. It looks absolutely perfect. And if there ever was going to be a little issue, we didn't go as far as that emblem, but there, there's a really nice Corvette emblem that goes there too. So it would kind of break it up, but it looks really nice. You can see even the purple hues up into here, where this, where the transition happens. And he just got that perfect. But let's look at the blend. Let's look at, all these places. My light's on. This is 4K, and it is perfect. There's no orange peel distortion where the broken blend is, and the sandwich just looks awesome. And then, we had a sandwich up on the top edge, and then we had a sandwich over here, right in the front up there. But we couldn't even see that one, when I did the color sending. So it looks really good. We'll talk about the building of the sandwich a little bit. I'll draw some pictures. And I want to talk about prepping, proper prepping, so that you can get this to happen every single solitary time. But using CSI Ceram-X really helps. Maybe, other products. I wouldn't use anything but a single product to do this, but I know our product works awesome. CSI Ceram-X for doing a hard edge blend on something like this. Hi everybody, Tom here. Today is another fun project, and I always say that because this stuff is fun, especially that I'm not having to do it for a living. I'm just kind of doing it on cool cars that I've been working on for many, many years. But now it's more of a teaching platform. This is, obviously an older Corvette, Stingray, and we just purchased it. And when we bought it, there was a big, giant chunk of fiberglass missing right here. So, what would be the fix? Do the fiberglass repair, prime it, make sure it's fully shrunk, and then paint the whole front end. But I didn't want to do that. And that isn't the way that we did it when we were, having mishaps in the shop. This is called a hard edge blend. So we did the repair, baked it with an Infratech light, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we go through this process. Make sure you get the color right on the money, and this is a base coat clear coat that we matched, and it came out awesome. The color match looks perfect. We've got a really good paint store around the corner. We're in Orange County, California. And any of this information that, if you want it, give me a call anytime. I'll share it with you. I love working with people that do a great job. And this small little jobber store down in, I think it's Costa Mesa, but it's not far from where we are in Anaheim, Save on Supply. The guy over there just knows what I want. If you look at the side cast, from all angles, this looks perfect. So the repair was here, primed, baked, and then I know I didn't go past this emblem because I wanted that emblem to break that up if I needed it to, if the side cast was off a little bit, but the side cast is right on the money. So the base coat is here to about here. But look at how nice from every angle, how the metallic and the colors come in and out on that. But that's only part of a problem on doing a hard edge blend on a surface like this. So then it's, put out your base coat, and then how do we blend the clear here and, up along this edge and then in the front of the fender without having to paint the whole entire front end. That's the trick. So the idea is to sand this with 800 grit Scotch-Brite. Really important, not sandpaper. You have to use 800 grit Scotch-Brite, which is the gray 3M Scotch-Brite. And that's what we use. We don't use anybody else's Scotch-Brite. They probably work too, but we use the 3M gray Scotch-Brite. Do the whole section, dull it out really well, and you're going to build the whole sandwich on that 800 grit. So the whole thing is scuffed up with the 800 grit. Then you do your primer, then you do your base coat, and your base coat is to here, to here. Now we're going to do clear to here and up in the front. And you will be able to see where the hard edge blend is when you do this. But again, we're going to bake it with the Infratech heater. You can pull the car outside, put it in the sun, allow some UV light to, fully cross-link the clear after you're done. That works too, but you can speed up the whole process by using an Infratech light. So bake it all down with Infratech, bake out all the solvents that might be in the clear. And even though they say there's no solvent, there's no added solvent. There's definitely solvent in clear coat. You have to bake it all out. Otherwise, you're going to get a rainbow effect when you do your blend. So then I'm going to have a lot of videos here on what it looked like after, what the area looked like where you could actually see the broken blend. And then you use CSI ceramic polish and a wool pad. Totally take out your sand scratch, when you color sand the clear coat. And you're not color sanding the 800 grit scratch though. Leave the 800 grit scratch just like it is. CSI ceramic will take that out easily because it's not like a sand scratch. So all of this area is just 800 grit gray Scotch-Brite, and then take out all of that, blend it all together, and it just comes out perfect. Every single solitary time you're able to do a hard edge blend on something like this, a difficult color normally, and not have to, blow the whole car and, do all the cleanup and all that kind of stuff. So for a simple repair that works every single solitary time, this is called a hard edge blend using CSI ceramic polish to do all your polishing from wool to foam. Use the wool with the rotary and then use the DA polisher with the ceramic polish again, and look at how perfect that is every single solitary time. So if you got any questions, give me a call, 714-906-6619. Until I see you again, bye.